I mean, people are training whole neighborhoods to have this, right? Like, for example, in San Francisco, we have a lot of people who are homeless and have a mental health crisis, right? So we see this on our street. Many citizens are getting trained in psychological first aid, no background in therapy or anything like that. It's just, how do you help the person immediately when they need help? If you don't know what you're doing, you can make it worse. So it's really open to anyone who wants to think in this way. It's more a mindset, actually, right? And then using your power in the moment to take some actions to help. I think you might have seen this before. I'm not sure if I actually showed it in the training last time. Maybe not.
Yes,
but
you did. We went through stages of grief during the grief trauma training.
Right. So putting this back up here, because for psychological first aid, this is actually very, very important, right? So if you're trying to reach somebody who's in a state of shock, trying to get a lot of details from them and that's not going to help them. They can't respond to you, right? So then you become a person who's frustrating them instead of helping them. But if they're in the other stages, right? Like even if they're in denial or anger, or I didn't include this one thing here, like they're ready to get help, then asking them a set of questions at that stage is really helpful. But when they're in shock, actually just stabilizing them and not making it worse is really our only goal, right? So most likely with psychological first aid, you're only going to be dealing with people who are in one of these first 3 stages. Shock, I can't believe this is happening to me, which is denial. And then some anger, I want control over this, I'm losing control, I need your help, right? So think about it in that way. So when you're offering support to someone who is needing your immediate assistance, the first thing you have to do is set very clear boundaries, right? This I can do for you. This I cannot do for you, right? So be very clear about what your role is and only work within the scope of your role, right? You're not a doctor. You're not a medical provider. You're not a nurse. So I would not, because you want to help them, you should not be giving them medical advice. For example, you should not be telling them, oh, this happened to me and I took this medicine, it helped me, or I chose a C-section because it really is the better way to do it. Whatever it is, that's not in your scope of role, right? So be very clear about what your boundaries are. What are you there to do? Prioritize practical needs. I already talked about this. Maybe they didn't eat anything that morning. And so providing psychological first aid means actually helping them get a meal, right? Accept that coping styles are different. You may actually meet somebody who doesn't want your help or is not used to anybody talking to them or helping them, and they may push you away. You can even say, I completely understand. I'm just going to go sit in this chair, but I'm right here. You can see me. Whenever you feel ready to talk, just raise your hand or make eye contact and I'll walk right back to you, right? You're not abandoning them. You're actually respecting that they have a different coping style. Can't stress this enough. Empower impacted people by actually giving them a choice. You're not making decisions for them. They're making decisions for themselves. You're only helping them do that. And then acknowledge anything positive that the survivor has already done to keep safe so far, right? It's great that you came here in time. Very simple things, but it really is important to have a strength-based model. So what are some things you should not be doing? Let's look at that list. Don't give false assurances. We do this a lot, right? Just to make somebody feel better in the moment, we might say, I'm pretty sure nothing is going to happen to you. We don't know that. We actually don't know that, right? So don't give false reassurances. Be reassuring, but not in a false way, that in speaking to things that you don't really know anything about or you don't have expertise in.